Hello and welcome to Most Haunted and Sinai House.
Nestled away in Staffordshire, we find a family residence that holds a strong ritualistic and religious past. The house actually consists of two buildings, one a derelict shell currently undergoing restoration, whilst the other calls on several period styles, including medieval and Jacobean. Its moated grounds also hint at the rich history that saw it witness the many English Civil War battles that broke out nearby. Henry VIII once bestowed the house to the Paget family, and with them it stayed until a century ago. And although a new family have moved in, a series of shocking events suggest that Sinai's ghosts have not moved out.
This place is amazing. It goes back certainly to the time of Burton Abbey. That goes back to 1002. This place was established up here as a sanatorium, an infirmary, and they used to do an awful lot of bloodletting here. What used to happen was that the monks from Burton Abbey would come up here every so many months for bloodletting. But as well as that, of course, ill and sick monks would come here, and of course not only was it a place of life, but obviously it would also be a place of death. Lots of monks would have died here, there's no doubt about it, and of course more than anything there are stories of the ghosts of monks appearing here.
This is the first floor guest room, which is an unfortunate title because many of the guests refuse to stay here on their own. The reason is they're seeing a dark hooded figure of an old monk. He wanders aimlessly around in this room and the adjoining corridor.
My brother, he had a pressure on his chest in the night one night. Something was trying to crush him, but there was nothing there. And there used to be like a light, white light, go down round the bedroom. It used to travel all around, all four walls. And the curtains were drawn, so it couldn't have been a torch from outside, and there was no answer to it.
Outside this marvellous building, there's been some very strange occurrences. A ghostly hay cart has been seen stopping in this very spot. Also, many people have reported seeing and hearing a phantom coach and horses. It drives up the driveway and then disappears. Also, dueling cavaliers and roundheads have been seen fighting just by the moat bridge, and this all happens in the dead of night.
Burton-on-Trent featured quite heavily in the English Civil War. There was a battle of Burton Bridge, and Cromwellian soldiers have been reported sitting by the fireplace.
A pack of black dogs, once owned by some abbots that used to live here, have been seen prowling in this area. The apparition of soldiers have been seen huddled around the fire. And a man dressed in 18th century clothes has been seen lurking in the corners of this very room.
But the building actually belonged to the Paget family from about 1554, after the dissolution of the monasteries. And one of the Pagets, very famous chap who fought at the Battle of Waterloo, the Earl of Uxbridge, owned this property and came here on more than one occasion. And his ghost has been seen in the drawing room of this house. So all in all, we've got a mixture of different ghosts here. Very, very exciting place.
There is such things as ghosts. I've seen them.
And although we are working within a small location, parapsychologist Kieran O'Keefe feels that this needn't present an obstacle in our endeavour to obtain evidence of the paranormal.
The positive side of being in such a small home is that, again, it creates a good state of mind. There's no fear and anxiety because people know it's only a very short walk to go outside into the safety. They know where all of the rooms are. It's very, very easy to get your sense of space and to actually know where everybody is.
Because there's a lot of building work going on, reconstruction of parts of the house, do you think that adds to the activity? I mean, in a lot of cases, paranormal activity will be heightened because of all the recent building work that's going on.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting point. If there are modifications made to an old building, an old location, there could be two explanations for the heightened activity. Number one, the paranormal one, would be that you're affecting somewhere where people have lived for many, many centuries, and the spirits may take offence to that and may actually start haunting the place or get involved and produce activity. There could be a normal explanation for it, which is also, if you've got building activity going on, then maybe affecting the foundations, the walls, the various structure of the building, and that could actually be causing perfectly natural things to happen. So things could be moved, you could have odd noises occurring, and people may interpret those as paranormal.
So we can see just a few of the potential pitfalls that this investigation may throw our way. However, it's a challenge that greatly entices us all. And with medium David Wells now ready to channel whatever does exist within this Grade 2 listed abode, we were left to ponder on just how many hidden and haunted dangers lie in wait at Sinai House.
When I come out here, we get a sensation, I think, of things like horses' hooves. Mm-hmm. I can hear horses' hooves, essentially. But there is a Civil War theme as well here, and there's two sets of things going on here. There's a gentle horse and carriage thing, but there's also horses being pulled over, like they're falling over during battle, and the noise of those soldiers, the parliamentarians, the cavaliers.
Right.
So out here, there's all of that going on. It's quite a mixed bag.
Is there anything active out here?
The only thing I am aware of in here is, and it almost seems like it's up there, to probably that window there, when it was fully constructed.
Right.
A fleeting shadow that seems to be active, that may go right through the house. I don't know, that's just where I saw it this time. And it's, again, it's a white form.
So you're seeing a white
female
form going across this old bit here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Female, definitely female.
Right.
David's sensing of hooves do relate to the haunting image of a horse and carriage that has been known to fool unsuspecting passers-by. And this equine thread can also equate back several centuries to the Civil War battles that regularly raged on or near this land. And little did we know it at the time, but another tale of blood and murder would soon prevail as we stepped into Sinai House. Most haunted Staffordshire base is Sinai House, a modern-day residence that masks an intriguing and eclectic past. And as David Wells has just informed us, this is a place where phantom horses continue to stun passers-by. Additionally, while stood outside, the psychic also hinted at the Grey Lady that is seen both in and around this building. But would her energies manifest once we stepped inside?
Glad we came in here first because the guys we've met outside, I don't know if it's the same people, I can't quite see faces here, but there's a sitting around, and it's like a picture, it's like a painting of parliamentarians sitting by the fire, some playing some kind of board game in a corner. Do you know, it's almost like that snapshot of a painting. So I guess this is where they kind of hung out, I suppose.
Right, okay. So that's who you're just picking up in this room. Any activity?
Two things, but they're both taking me upstairs. One is the woman I saw earlier, the white woman. Another is the sound of Gregorian chant in my ear. So that would say monk.
Right.
That rings the monk bell, really.
Yeah. Do you want to head upstairs?
I would like to, because that's where everything is kind of like drifting upstairs. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, brilliant.
Definitely.
Interestingly, parliamentarian forces do hold a strong connection to this house, with their residual energies previously being associated to this exact spot. But why were his white woman and now a holy man pulling David upstairs?
At some point, obviously the two buildings were linked, and it's probably really clear that this was a doorway here, because you can, Kieran's going to say you can see it's a doorway.
Where?
Here. If you look, I mean, look.
Oh, right, yeah.
But what was interesting for me was as we came up the stairs, someone went through it. Someone just walked through it.
Who was someone?
A monk.
Right.
A young monk. But he was carrying a tray.
What's on
So
the
it was a
tray?
waiter monk. Food. It was very something very simple. I mean, I can't quite see what's on the tray, but it was covered with a white cloth, and there was a jug on it of ale or something, some kind of drink. And he carried it and just went that way. So he came from down there and he just shot through that wall there.
Right.
Now that says to me that he was obviously looking after people.
Yeah.
I want to go just down
Okay.
here. Because there is another monk here, it's not this one.
This modern-day house is formed from two separate buildings, both of which were originally sited at a nearby abbey. And whilst one half of Sinai House may now lie derelict, we were able to head into the inappropriately named guest bedroom, a space where many simply refuse to stay.
Feels as if there's a soul in here who doesn't particularly want us to be here. Now he's not aggressive in the way, he's not a pusher. He's very active. I think it's more a case of he just doesn't want us to be in this atmosphere because he's grumpy. He's a grumpy old man, or a
Right.
grumpy old monk.
Right.
A very senior. He may even have been an abbot. I don't know. He may even have been as senior as that. But this young monk that's looking after him, it almost seems like that relationship is still continuing.
Do you get the impression that it would have just been those two monks in this building at the time?
No, because the other one, in my mind, he's going off to join other people. And this is part of a service for him. It's part of a duty of care for him to look after this monk. It seems to me that it's more... Because I can see them all going off to prayer, to worship.
So you're almost saying that this could be a type of monastery, or was?
Yeah. It almost, because of this, it feels like a rest home for old monks. Ye olde rest home for old monks. It feels... I don't know what you call that. Because, a monastery to me would be somewhere with a big old chapel and the worship. But it seems as if it's just them, just the monks.
Richard,
Doesn't seem as many people come in.
Richard, was there such a thing as a rest home for...
I mean, this was a sanatorium, if you like, for monks, Benedictine monks from the abbey. But it was like an infirmary,
Right.
a sanatorium and a rest home.
Centuries ago, this building's original name was a derivative of the French translation for the word blood. And as David was about to discover, it is due to this very same ancient ritual that many of its holy inhabitants once stayed here.
This is like a continuation of what I was getting earlier. It's this busyness of a monastery. And I know that Richard said they came here, he called it a sanatorium. Therefore, they've come here for rest, either mental rest or physical rest. I guess it's an old-fashioned word for hospital, isn't it, really? But it's interesting for me, along here, there seems to be more of the commoner garden monks, your regular monks.
Right.
They're bloodletting. So they're being allowed to bleed.
What was that for?
I guess it's to cleanse the system of toxins. It's
What they did?
That's exactly what they would have done
Oh,
at
really?
that time, during that time, yeah.
so it's almost, I can see it like running down their arms into cups,
Oh.
and the cups being collected, and then them being.
And that would have happened in here?
It feels to me as if there's probably about 4 beds. It feels like up here, in order, almost like a ward, really.
Right. Okay. Are there any names with these monks that you're getting?
There doesn't seem to be anything that's sticking out, to be
Right.
honest with you. The only name that's really strong in this house is Henry. Henry. Henry's very strong,
Right.
but I haven't come across him with a monk on it.
Okay. All right.
Having possibly picked up on one of this building's more colourful characters, we move further through the attic where David was about to deliver a bombshell that would shatter any of this building's holy intentions, as well as give us a clearer identity to this building's famous Grey Lady.
Is she in here?
She's not in here, but I'm going to try and... She's more out there. I'm just going to try and link with her because she does seem active. She seems very quick. By that I mean her energy moves very quickly. You know, she's not a big old graceful thing.
Right.
And that in my mind usually means they're quite young because the quickness of the movement
Right.
there. So it means she's quite young and pregnant.
Oh.
Young and pregnant.
Right.
And I can feel it here. Give me the words holy baby.
Ooh.
Now I'm not thinking it's the second coming has arrived somewhere.
Right.
Don't think he arrived.
You're thinking a bit of intrigue related to the monks, is that?
Yes, exactly what I'm thinking. It's holy baby and there's a cross on the stomach.
So she's pregnant
By a monk.
by a monk.
Yeah, by a monk. Which is
Wow.
not a good thing. Which is probably why she's still grounded because of the shame of it.
Oh, yeah.
I'd imagine that something like that would have been a huge shame.
Is there any names with this woman then?
It's like Isabel or
Right.
Isabella, perhaps, something
Yeah.
like that.
What happened to her?
She's pushed down a stair. Don't think the baby was allowed to live. Looks to me like oops. Oh dear, you're not quite dead, Bumf.
By whom?
That would be behind monks, no one else seems to be here.
God, what's a sad story. So would she have
Really
spent
sad.
time here?
I have the impression that she was a carer, she might have cooked.
Although no records exist to identify such serving staff, I also wanted to hear more about Henry, a name that David strongly associates with Sinai House. And once back on the ground floor, the medium was able to ascertain who this man may be.
I wanted you to bring you back into this room.
Yeah.
Because you came up with a name earlier on, that of Henry. And I know I don't like to put pressure on, but it'd be really nice if you could try and see if you can get a surname for this Henry.
Right. Just see the room again. I've got the room with... obviously a bit rougher with these soldiers in it, but he doesn't seem to belong to their time. He's dressed different. He's actually dressed in very grand clothes. A sort of heavily embroidered, or embroidered's the wrong word. It's, you know, the gold stuff. What's it called? I should have known. I'm a forces man myself. It's like army. You know that army gold, the
Yes,
braid.
the braid,
The
yeah.
braid. So it's up here. But she's suggesting to me that he was an army man, rather. Big boots, like Wellington's kind of big boots, you know. So again, cavalry. So it's all coming down. A former owner, I would say. Very well connected, perhaps a lord, or you know, he has a title. The surname is, it sounds like planets, but it's maybe Paget or Paget, something like that.
Okay.
Something like that.
Brilliant. Richard, planets, something like that?
From 1557, when after the dissolution of the monasteries, this property belonged to the Paget family.
You said Paget?
Yeah, you did say Paget, I heard you
I
say.
thought it
You
was
said-
Lord.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were. He was Lord Uxbridge, and there were various ones. This was a hunting lodge for them.
So
They
you would
didn't
come
live-
and go.
they didn't live
right,
here.
That's interesting.
But
So
it's
you
a hunting lodge. It belonged to the bailiffs because they owned a lot of land around here. But they used it as a hunting lodge, hunting in the Needwood Forest around here.
That's interesting.
And that man has been reported seen in this room.
This is Henry Paget, Wellington's second in command at the Battle of Waterloo, and a man closely linked to this ancient and integral part of Staffordshire. His descendants may now have moved out, but is he the man responsible for the hive of activity known to take place in the ground floor living and dining rooms? We switch our cameras into night vision in the search for further answers. And for David, Kieran, Kath, Rachel, both Johns and myself, our opening vigil didn't disappoint.
Somebody just... Sorry, did you just do... No. Under the table? Because I just heard that.
I just saw a flashing light on the staircase.
Cool.
Are they here, David?
Yeah, it wasn't scared.
Who's here?
I've got the man, Henry, and the woman. It's sort of pulled, Isabel has pulled them down. The monk's not here. I'd like to say he was, but he's not. If there's any astrals in this room, please, now that we've changed the atmosphere, I hopefully made it a bit more pure for you, could you please make your presence known?
I keep seeing a lot of shadows moving on the staircase.
Ooh.
It's not with the light of the camera or anything.
Do us the great honour of introducing yourself to us now. Please show yourself. Do you hear that?
Yeah. Sound like footsteps.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, Kath.
Please show yourself. Do you hear that? Please show yourself. Do you hear that? Two people put their fingers on the glass to start with. Maybe David and Kath. Let's see if it moves.
Oh, it's off.
Something just touched my hair.
It moved before Kath even touched it.
Something just touched the top of my head at the same time.
That's the last move.
Let's see if it moves.
Oh, it's off.
Let's see if it moves.
Oh, it's off. If there's anyone there, please move this glass. Please move this glass if there's anyone present. If you're male, please move this glass. Oh. It's twisting, isn't it? It's going round. Okay, so if you're male. If you're male, is your name Henry? God, it's gone that again, isn't it? It's just twisting. It's like it's doing that.
Do you think that's his character? He's quite an abrupt sort of...
Possibly just, yeah.
Yeah.
It had been a promising start to our night vision vigils, and whilst intrigued by the glass's highly responsive and instantaneous movement, I was also curious as to whether this was mainly due to the participation of David. So would Henry Paget only communicate with a psychic, or are a few other crew members about to sample life after death?
What?
There's something in there. There was a really loud noise.
Sinai House stands tall above the Staffordshire skyline and has so far offered encouraging signs that our investigation may help solve the riddle of whether this ancient house is actually haunted. So far, 3 prominent figures have appeared to our medium David Wells. We decide to leave the spectre of former landowner Henry Paget behind downstairs and head up to where we believe the ghost of the Grey Lady, called either Isabel or Isabella, exists. But would she or the monks that she served choose to cooperate as we made our way into the attic?
Well, this is where we picked up with the monks, sort of, beds and things like that in here, didn't we? So, trying to call out for monks or the lady or... Oh, what was that?
What was that? Was that you, Kieran?
That was there.
Monks or the lady or... Oh, what was that? Monks or the lady or... Oh, what was that? Is there anybody here? Please try and talk to us. Please give us some sort of sign. Let us know you're around. If your name is Isabel, Isabella. Was that slight movement behind us?
Yeah, it sounded like something in the room next to us. In that room? I had to notice in that one.
Did you?
I might go and sit in there.
Yeah.
It was just a tap.
Boom. You're going to be alright by yourself,
I don't know, do you want to come with me?
What? Mark?
What's that?
I don't know, do you want to come with me?
I'm like,
I don't know, do you want to come with me?
I'm like,
What do you think you heard? What did you know? A low
It was like a low.
I think it was
sound.
past it. I think it was traffic.
No, for me it was like a, I can't even describe it. Sorry, it was a like a tight noise or something odd, something really close.
On the stairs.
I presume John went and got his own room, eh?
Oh, did you hear something on the stairs?
Everybody be quiet.
I've got a surname for this woman. It's either Baxter or Baker.
Oh, brilliant.
It seems to me that she was, the impression I'm getting is that she was murdered on the other side of the house. So in the other building.
Who just tapped then?
Nobody.
So in the other building.
Who just tapped then?
Nobody.
So in the other building.
Who just tapped then?
Nobody.
I heard it.
Did you?
I heard it.
To be honest, I felt a little freaked out, not only by the weird sounds in the attic, but also the voices that we later detected during our edit process.
Everybody be quiet.
And with David now providing further sensory information in the form of Isabel's surname, we decide to try our luck back in the dining room.
Please, if there's anybody here present, please can you give us some sort of sign to let us know that you're around? Try and talk to us or move something.
I had a bell ringing.
Did you?
Twice.
Hello.
Very, very dull.
From where?
Well, outside, but no one else had it, obviously.
No.
Might have been an astral bell.
Did someone just flash on the ceiling?
No.
No.
Just above you here?
No, neither of the cameras were moving when he said it.
Did no one else see that?
No, I was facing the other way.
I didn't move my camera either, so...
There was a flash just above here.
I can tell you that Henry's present, I think, is moved. There seems to have been a shift. Came through that door. Came through the door behind Richard.
There's another flash there behind Kieran.
That's great if he's showing himself and it flashes a light. That's absolute textbook
Take a step back.
astral activity. If that's happening, I'm really excited.
Henry, are you around us now? Henry, please, if this is you, please come forward. Please try and talk to us. There's another flash.
What kind of light was it, Yvette?
White. Flash, quick. Quite large, not small.
Once more, several unusual minor occurrences had greeted us on the ground floor. Although I appeared to be the only person who had seen a quick succession of white lights flashing around the room. And having informed Carl of this curious array of events, he enlists the help of Ian, Rachel, Kath and Joe to see which hidden energy may be responsible.
Henry Paget, are you here?
Did you hear that knocking then?
Henry, are you standing between me and Kat?
No one's moving on.
I do, I was just going to say that.
That was...
Are you walking round us, Henry? He's going to sit things down.
There's only me and Stuart here almost still. I'm not moving. Oh, fuck, that was...
That was really loud. And would you mind us being here in this room? Would you like us to stay with... What was that? And would you mind us being here in this room? Would you like us to stay with... What was that? And would you mind us being here in this room? Would you like us to stay with... What was that?
Henry, do you know you're dead?
Is that above us?
No,
I thought it was above us.
no, need something louder. Like that.
With this particular former landowner appearing to respond to their requests, the group decide to move next door and into the same parlour that houses a portrait of one Henry Paget.
Henry Paget, are you here in this room with us? Please can you show your presence?
Cold, quite cold actually.
I'm cold around my knees. And it's been really warm again. Henry, is that you making us feel cold? Could you try and make more sounds for us so we know it's you?
What?
What?
I got a draft that just went right over my leg.
On your leg?
Right, that wouldn't have been you again, was it, in this rock?
I wasn't moving that quick.
Henry, is that you trying to make us feel cold?
There's quite a nasty feeling in here, isn't there?
It has changed, isn't it?
It felt like someone's walking over my grave twice. It's just a chill to the bone kind of feeling. Henry?
Henry, show yourself to us, please.
Gosh, that sounded just fall right in my grave. Yeah, that's where I was stood, and that's where I was feeling it. It's just a nasty feeling, isn't it? As if
It's weird.
you stand next to his picture and speak, and you do feel you shiver in your spine.
Should we go upstairs?
And work our way down.
Yeah, or maybe go to the other room, see what we find out in there.
Yeah.
Something clearly seems afoot at Sinai House, with the presence of Henry Paget seemingly dominant along the ground floor. But no sooner had this group headed upstairs than a shock stood in their way.
There's no one in there.
Well, what did you see?
There's no one in it. I actually just said someone was in the toilet because I just saw someone come in there. I thought they were getting out of our shop when we were walking. They heard us come up the stairs. And there's no one in here at all. I mean, there is literally nothing here.
Well, this is where they see the figures, isn't it?
I honestly thought we could come up the stairs, and just as I got to the top there, I sort of saw that, and I thought, oh, someone's obviously seen us. And just gone in their toilet just to get out of the way.
What's up, Joe?
I just thought someone was right next to me. No, I just today not moved. Maybe jump a bit.
Cool, bear.
Do you want to try that bedroom, or?
Yeah. Are there any bad things?
No.
So it's all nice.
They're all very welcome. Even David said that all the entities here they're nice. There's not. No, I mean even the negativity of the what?
What's up? Left or right?
Why don't you guys go in the corridor? Why don't we stay in here and do it?
Not like that.
Why don't you guys go in the... You guys stay in there, and we'll carry on talking in here. Drink.
Yeah.
What else do you do?
Just down there. Down here.
What, around here?
Oh!
What?
There's something in there. There was a really loud noise.
Are you here?
What did you hear?
Something that like a...
Please show yourself to us.
What?
What was that?
The door's just moved. That door's just moved.
I saw something
The
behind
door's just
it.
shut. The door's just shut.
You saw something behind us, then the door shut.
The door's just shut. The door's just shut.
We saw I saw a shadow behind us and then the door shut.
Can you close the door again for us?
What?
Stay away. Close the door again for us.
Oh, I thought someone said no.
Yeah.
Close the door again for us. Close the door again for us.
This is the same area where residents past and present often see shadowy shapes simply drifting through solid walls. And with both Carl and Joe feeling a little uncomfortable, it was time to take stock and prepare for one final assault on unearthing just who haunts Sinai House.
I don't feel right in here. I feel like we're being watched. I feel like something's here with us.
Staffordshire's Sinai House has always held a special place in the hearts and minds of local residents. England's Civil War was played out around this ancient home, and monks used this place as a sanatorium for their ritualistic bloodletting. And having ascertained that the main house does hold its own sense of mysterious phenomena, we decide to up the stakes and explore two eerily desolate areas. Whilst Richard and Ian head down into the cellar, Carl and Stuart tentatively sample the exposed remains of Sinai's other building.
Normally these places don't feel eerie when they're this derelict because they're out in the, it's the fresh air and everything you keep. But there's something about this place that's eerie. I don't like it. Absolutely. 500 years of history, all falling out around us.
We wonder if there's anyone down here, anybody that haunts this cellar. Let us know that you're with us. Matter.
Sorry, I just thought I was like...
Shit.
It was just, it just felt like the stone was moving.
Is there anyone here that wishes to communicate? My name's Stuart. We're not here to harm you in any way.
Did you just make a move then?
I made a move to turn round because I'd heard
Before you
something.
turn?
No. We're not here to harm you in any way. We're not here to harm you in any way.
There could be something falling from. Then again, look at the roof here. There's not a lot through the viewfinder. There's not a lot hanging down from here.
Intact as well, isn't it?
So why would that be falling down? Are you there? What was that? Was that you?
No. I didn't move.
It's actually quite scary down here, isn't it?
This is really nasty.
You know why? Because we're down here, we're a long way from everything else, and we know there's a room here, another room there, and they're all dark.
And we've got to go through each one to get out.
I know.
God, do you know, I really don't feel happy here.
I was just going to say something then, mate. I actually feel dizzy at this moment in time, yeah.
You are swaying.
Yeah, I know I am, yeah.
Don't you go
No, I'm not, I won't, no.
So I'm not, you see, I'm not threatening him.
I've actually got an old
I'm actually holding him up.
Can you bang on something if you're here? Can you show yourself to this very special camera that picks up people in the dark? What was that? Can you show yourself to this very special camera? Can you show yourself to this very special camera? Was that you that did that? Can you do it again? Because you've succeeded already in frightening us. Was that you that did that? Can you do it again? Was that you that did that? Can you do it again?
Wait. Next, can you smell like what we're talking about? Pipe smoke and tobacco smoke?
No.
I swear down I could smell pipe smoke then a minute ago.
No.
For you, which part of the cellar do you think is worse? Where do you think, is it in this bit or do you think it's in that bit?
I think that bit down there.
Should we go back in
Yes, I really don't like that bit.
I don't like this area. As soon as I walked in it, I didn't like it. And I don't like it still. I don't feel comfortable here. I feel like everything's on top of us. You like it?
It's in here.
That is in here with us now, yes, there's no doubt. Don't be silly. Don't be silly, that was you, wasn't it?
Wait, no, the one got torched. No, I didn't kick anything.
So any spirit entity in this empty shell of a building that wants to talk to us? You alright, Stu? Stu?
Stu, you alright? Shit. Stu. 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 Stu.
Yeah.
Stu, are you alright?
Whoa, God, I had the weirdest... Yeah.
What happened? I was chatting away over there and I turned to you and I got no response and you were sort of crouched down as you are now.
It was like... I was here. It was like I'd almost gone back in time. To the days of how it used to be. Hundreds of years ago.
So what did you see?
It was almost like I was dreaming. I was in this room and there was tables, there was chairs, and there was almost like a banquet table where people were sitting down and eating lots of meats, and there was vegetables and fruit and all that lot, and people were singing and having a nice time. And that's basically where I was.
Do you know we need to talk to David? Because that sounds like you've had a past life regression or something similar to...
I was just going to say something similar on those lines.
Because you were out, I mean, you weren't responding to me at all. This place is weird. I'm not kidding. I mean, I've not felt good in here, and I've got a bit of a headache. I don't feel right in here. I feel like we're being watched. I feel like something's here with us, and I've got no rational explanation why I feel like that. But after seeing what just happened to you...
Is that anything to do with the dizzy spells then?
It could be. Well, that's why we need to talk to David, I think, because...
Because now I feel great. I feel fine now.
Do you?
Yes.
Are you still there? Anybody still there? Anybody still there? Anybody still there?
So had we concluded with phenomena in two of the building's most chilling areas. And although it wasn't the most spectacular of investigations, Sinai House had provided the team with a lot of subtle suggestions as to why so many people individually testify to having witnessed paranormal phenomena here. And the night's events also appear to correspond with our psychics' belief that those who may contribute to this building's hauntings only do so in an austere manner. Other vigils, as well as Kieran's series of experiments, may have failed to add to a varied mix of peripheral sounds, flashing lights, shadowy spectres and falling stones.
Don't be silly.
But once night had turned to day, one particular event remained fresh in everyone's minds.
It was an incredible experience to go to a place of such antiquity. I enjoyed it.
Don't be silly.
I suppose the highlight of the evening was when Stuart went off into the old part, the derelict part of the building.
He appeared to be part of some banquet scene, even reporting what people were doing in the room, reporting down to fine detail the nature of the furniture, even to the point where he explained that there was a group playing music at one end of the room.
Now, the fabulous thing is that one of the witnesses that I spoke to earlier in the day was a gentleman that had lived there from the age of 18 months. And he told me that on many occasions in that part of the building where he lived with his parents, they used to hear the sounds of what they believed to be a party. As did the present owner on at least 4 occasions, woken up in the middle of the night to hear what sounded like a party going on downstairs.
Interestingly, David Wells and myself both spoke to Stuart immediately after the actual experience that he had, questioned him in different ways and actually came up with different theories. So there are a number of explanations for what happened to Stuart. One might be paranormal. He may have had some sort of past life regression that David put forward as a possible explanation. Aside from the paranormal explanation for Stuart's experience, there are 2 skeptical ones. One may be that he had a dissociative experience and actually created the imagery himself based on the prompts that he had from a fully furnished room in another part of the house. Another explanation could have been he was simply sitting in the derelict part and thought, maybe this is what I'm meant to be seeing. due to various inaccuracies of the description of the room that he reported, we can safely surmise, at least from in my opinion, that he didn't have a genuine past life regression.
On land where war once raged, we leave behind a house that holds 3 distinct but different energies. Astrals who have given you and I much to think about. So until next time, sleep tight.